Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be combining two videos together because I honestly couldn't decide what I wanted to film today. I really wanted to do monthly favorites for September, but I also wanted to share my current everyday makeup routine. And then I realized that luckily all of my current favorites are a part of my everyday makeup routine. So there you have it. So I hope you guys are gonna enjoy it as per usual. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments. Definitely grab a coffee, a tea, some snacks, get cozy, and let's chat about some of my favorite products. So I'm first gonna start off with a skincare product. This is brand new in my routine. If you've seen any of my recent videos and you've heard me talk about this brand very recently, it's called Ven. I have completely fallen in love with the skincare brand. I recently finished the probiotic Sika Complex Biome Booster. I very coincidentally had this next to me because I just filmed an empties video, which this was included in, and that's is still sitting next to my filming setup. This serum was amazing for my skin. It really helped in kind of resetting my skin barrier and just rebalancing my skin. My skin just wasn't happy with me over the last couple of months. I was experiencing a lot of eczema, and this really helped, and I completely finished it. I buy these Ven products at Beauty's Lab, and I picked it up the last time I got one of their facials, and when I was there recently to get another facial, I asked my esthetician if I should rebuy that serum, and she said, no, your skin doesn't really need it anymore because your skin is now balanced. It like did its job. So she said instead I should try the Symbiotic Defense Mist, and this is a treatment essence mist. But this product is supposed to do a lot of the same things that serum is supposed to do. It's supposed to be really great in just kind of calming down the skin, calming down irritation, inflammation, redness, and my skin has just been really enjoying it. I use it in both my morning and my nighttime skincare routine. I actually haven't sprayed it on my face yet today. I want to do it on camera with you guys because I really want to talk about this product. So let's spray it on. I do like 4 sprays. Sometimes I'll also put it in the palm of my hand, like I'll spray 4 sprays in the palm of my hand and then press it on my face. I get a little bit paranoid that I'm wasting product when I spray it on my face. So by spraying in the hand, I feel like that helps that issue. Okay, now let's talk SPF. I tried a new one this month and I really fell in love with it. It is the Agent Nature Holly Sun, and it's the Dewy Tinted Skin Drop. Now, if you have oily skin, I would probably stay away from this because this says it's dewy and it is not lying. It's a serum texture and it stays very dewy on the skin. I have very dry skin, so I really enjoy that type of formula. But I can see somebody with more of an oilier skin type just not enjoying this and kind of it being just way too dewy and way too shiny. What I really like about this is that it does not feel like SPF at all. This is actually one of the least SPF feeling products that I've tried. It is a mineral SPF and there is 0 white cast because it is tinted. It does come in a couple different shades. I wouldn't let the shades kind of scare you too much because if you take this out and you look at the shade next to my skin, like this does not look like it's gonna match me at all. It looks very peachy, but it's not supposed to be a product that gives you coverage. The tint is there to kind of like mask the white tint that you would typically get with like a mineral sunscreen. I got the shade Almond, and like I said, when I first saw this, I just did not think that it would match my skin tone at all, but it really just melts into the skin and the tint doesn't really show up very much. I think if you're very fair skinned and you got a shade that was much deeper than your skin tone, then you would probably give yourself like a very light tan, almost like how the Drunk Elephant D Bronzy Skin Drops work on the skin. But as you can see, like as I'm blending this in, you don't even see a tint. And oh my God, just applying this to the skin feels incredible. It genuinely just feels like a skincare serum. It doesn't feel like an SPF at all. There's no SPF scent. And as you can see, it's like a serum-y texture. So it's so nice and hydrating on the skin. So the foundation slash skin tint that I've been loving the most lately has definitely been the Glossier Stretch Fluid Foundation. I did do an entire review and breakdown of this foundation. I'll link it down below if you guys want to check it out. I have basically been wearing only this foundation ever since I first tried it in that video. This is just a medium coverage foundation that really looks like skin. I love that with this product, I can use the teeniest, tiniest, littlest amount. It spreads beautifully on the skin, really evens out the skin tone, and just never looks heavy. Now that I've been using this for a bit, I can definitely say that it reminds me a lot of the Haus Labs foundation, but kind of like a lighter weight version of that foundation. You guys know, or maybe you don't, but that is one of my favorite foundations, especially for more of like a full coverage, full glam look, but it's not necessarily a product that I would go for day to day. It's a little bit too heavy for my liking for day to day. This gives me a very similar effect, like a very skin-like look. Not too dewy, not too matte, just like the perfectly balanced foundation. It's very skin-like coverage, but in a much lighter formula. You also just like don't need a lot. Like I always pump out one pump and I never use the full pump. And I just like to dot it all around my face, and I always use either my fingers or a sponge to blend it out. I really am so shocked that I love this foundation as much as I do. For whatever reason, I just didn't think that it would come through. Like I thought that it would be a bit of a fail. The other Glossier Skin Tint product is just really not my cup of tea. It's a super, super sheer lightweight product, which some people may really enjoy, but I just feel like it doesn't really do much. And I thought that this would be a similar type of product, but it's really not. It also lasts really, really well throughout the day. I have worn this for 12-hour days, and by the end of the day, there's very little fading. Everything still looks great. Like, just no issues with this product overall. It's beautiful. Oh, and if you're wondering the shade that I use, it is Light 2. Now for concealer, these have been my two loves. The Tower 28 Serum Concealer, and then we have the Haus Labs Triclone Concealer. I believe I spoke to you guys about the Tower 28 Concealer, but I don't think I spoke to you about the Haus Labs Concealer yet, and I have just been loving both of these so much. The Tower 28 Concealer has very quickly become my new favorite concealer. This concealer kind of sits in the same realm as the Kosas Revealer and the Say Hydra Beam, and I 1000%, without even having to think twice, like this one so much more than those other two. Don't get me wrong, both of those concealers are beautiful, but I feel like the Tower 28 Serum Concealer takes a lot of the good qualities of those two concealers, but kind of elevates them a little bit more, because this is a very hydrating serum like concealer, so it has that very nice like dewy finish to it, but on top of having that nice dewy finish, it also really smooths the under eye and kind of makes the under eye look really nice and plump and very much perfected. Whereas I don't really find that I get that with those other two concealers. I feel like they're much more natural looking everyday concealers, and that they don't really give that like perfected look. It works beautifully for every day because it's still lightweight and very much everyday appropriate, but I can also very easily transition this into like my more full glam looks if I want to, and it will just always make my under eyes look so... the perfect sound effect for how it makes my under eyes look. The Haus Labs concealer I was super excited to try out because it's part of the same line as the foundation, and as I just mentioned, I really love that foundation so much. It's not as serumy and hydrating as the Tower 28 one, but it still is a very flattering full coverage concealer, so I do really like it. I like the Tower 28 one more, but what I like even more is combining them together, and I'm going to show you how I like to do it. In the Tower 28, I have the shade EP, and in the Haus Labs, I have the shade Fair Neutral. I actually have multiple shades of both of these, but these are the two shades that I've been really liking working with. This is a little bit deeper than I would typically go for a concealer, and this is a little bit lighter than I would typically go. So I find combining them together also creates like the perfect shade. So I really like the Tower 28 concealer on the areas of my face where I kind of just want to conceal a little bit more, and I really like it on the face as well. I find it meshes so nicely with whatever foundation I'm wearing because it's such a hydrating product. I put it in the corners of my nose, on my chin. I also like putting it on the outside part of my under eye, and then I'll go in with the Haus Labs, which is the much lighter shade, and I'll just use this to really brighten up the darkest part of my under eye, which is like right in that little crease. Just like that. And that's how I've been doing my concealer every single day. It's a little bit excessive, yes, but I like it. I like the result, so why not? Taking my sponge, and I always blend out the Haus Labs color first because it's the lighter one. And it really just brightens up that spot really nicely. And then once that's blended out, I'll just go in and blend out the Tower 28. And I also have been using a sponge, and just one sponge for my entire face besides my under eye powder. And it's great. I love not having to constantly switch out my brushes. I also have some eczema on the side of my nose right over here, so there's some texture there. And the Tower 28 concealer sits really nicely on top of that. Plus, did you know that Tower 28 is one of the only brands, if not the only beauty brand, that is eczema approved by the Eczema Association? So now I'm gonna set my under eyes with my Kosas Cloud Set. I use the shade Breezy, and I'm just using a little fluffy brush just to set kind of just the center of my face. And that's been my entire base routine. And I feel like the combination of the SPF with the Glossier foundation and both of those concealers and then a little bit of that Kosas powder just creates the most flawless looking, very, very lightweight, very everyday appropriate base. For my bronzer, I've actually been loving the Tower 28 Sculptino in Getty. This has been my bronzer of choice lately. So you guys know I've been obsessed with the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer, and I still am, but I really needed to kind of give that one a little bit of a break because I feel like I've been talking about it so much. I feel like the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer just overtook my entire bronzer collection, and that was really the only thing that I was gravitating towards no matter what. So I feel like this kind of got a bit overshadowed, but it's such a good cream bronzer, and I feel like it also gives a very similar look to the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancer. It's just slightly more intense, like very, very slightly. I find especially when used with the sponge, it's just so easy to throw on and it just looks blended. Do you see any lines as I was applying this? I feel like it just appeared on the skin. Like for my blush, I feel like I found the perfect combination to give like a bronzy nude look with a little pop of cherry. So starting off first with a cream, this is the Nude Sticks Beach Babe. So this is a really, really pretty pinky bronzy shade. And I really concentrate this like literally on the tops of my cheekbones. I've been putting my blush a lot higher than I normally do, and I've just been really liking the effect. Gonna blend it out again with my sponge. Because it's kind of like neutral and bronzy-ish, it gives more shape to the cheeks rather than like crazy color, which is also why I like to combine this with another shade just to add a little bit more color. This is the Dior Rosy Glow Blush in the shade Cherry. It is so beautiful. It is the perfect bright cherry coral shade. It's such a bright color in the pan, but like all of the other Dior Glow blushes, they're very, very wearable. And I mainly like to put this on the apple of my cheek, but not right here, right over here, almost like right underneath my eye. After I finish with all my base makeup, I've been spraying the Rare Beauty mist on top. This is the Always an Optimist 4-in-1 mist. I've been loving this. I've been using this as my daily setting spray. I love how fine the mist is on this, so it doesn't create any water droplets. It does a really nice job of kind of settling all of the makeup as well, and it's supposed to set it. For my brows, still loving the Air Brow from Kosas. This is the tinted one. This one is actually in the shade Auburn, which is nice for my red hair. For my eyes, I've been using a classic. This is a paint pot from MAC in Groundwork. It's a really beautiful taupe shade. I've been loving this for every single day. It's just such a great shade to just add a little bit of depth and definition to the eyes without it being like too intense. To apply it, I've just been taking a fluffy brush, and then I use the side of the fluffy brush to just pack it onto the lid. It is a cream, so you can also apply this with your finger, but I just prefer using a brush. And then after I apply it to the lid, I just start to kind of like work it out, and I blend it out into the crease. It doesn't even really make like that big of a difference, but I just like how simple it is, and it's just a nice little something just to add to the look. For mascara, I've been really favoring brown mascara lately, and I've been using the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara in the brown shade, and it's the perfect brown. It's really, really dark and deep. It's like a nice rich espresso. I used to love the Better Than Sex mascara from Too Faced, but I stopped using it a while ago because I felt like it smudged on me a ton. I haven't had that issue though with the brown version. It really stays in place, and it gives the lashes a really nice fluffy effect. Now for lips, I'm still going for a nude. Like that's still my everyday favorite, but when fall rolls around, I actually transition my warmer nudes into cooler nudes, and this has been one of my go-tos. It's the Lisa Eldridge lipstick in Meet Me in Berlin. Now it looks super intense and like chocolatey brown in the tube, but it applies a lot sheer on the lips. But I'm first gonna line my lips with M Cosmetics Kitten. Like the perfect fall nude. And there you have it. Those are all the products that I've been loving the most over the last month, and this has been essentially my go-to look also over the last month. Again, don't forget to let me know all of your thoughts in the comments as per usual. Hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy today's video, and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.